Welcome back. Welcome back. It's your host, Delano, on the FanWire podcast. We're bringing you another another prospect that's definitely worth talking about. Because guess what? That's what we do here on the FanWire podcast, your trusted voice for Washington Mystic content. So today, we're breaking down a name that could quietly become one of the most valuable mid-round picks in the 2026 draft. We're talking about Teonni Key out of Kentucky. We're talking about a 6'5" mobile defensive forward with length, rebounding instincts, and the type of physical tools that WNBA teams are always looking for. She may not be, one of those flashy players, but as a prospect in this class, her profile often becomes the key to rotations and winning teams. All right, so now, what are the big questions? What is Teonni Key's true upside? Where is she likely to be drafted? Could she be a smart value pick for the Washington Mystics? These are all the questions that need to be answered. And we're going to break them down. We're breaking down the measurements, the career development. We're talking about her strengths, her weaknesses. We're talking about her comparison to other WNBA players and how she could fit with the Washington Mystics and a bunch of other stuff. So let's get into it. Let's ready to roll. Let's go. Teonni Key is a 6'5" forward that has excellent size and all of the makeup to be a modern WNBA forward. She began her career at North Carolina before transferring to Kentucky, where her role expanded significantly. She came into NCAA women's basketball, into the college level, as a 5-star recruit, a McDonald All-American level prospect showing early promise and high upside for a defensive forward. Her archetype, we talk about a mobile defensive forward, a rim finisher, a player that's capable of defending multiple positions and providing interior scoring efficiency. And we're talking about a player that potentially could be a point forward in the WNBA with time. Okay, so different things that the WNBA teams value. We're talking about defensive versatility, rebounding impact, positional flexibility, and Keys checks each of those boxes. So let's talk about her college career and how it developed. So her career trajectory shows steady improvement. Her freshman season at North Carolina, it came with limited minutes, but she showed flashes of being a rim protector and a rebounder. Her sophomore season at North Carolina, she showed that she was still developing into a more consistent type of player. And with that came role consistency. Although she had some injury interruptions, but the key is we're going to talk about what she did once she got to Kentucky, because that's when her breakout started. That's her junior season. So after transferring, her production jumped. She began to average 11 points a game, 8 rebounds, and close to 2 blocks a game while shooting 50% from the field. She became a full-time SEC starter and showcased real defensive upside. Her senior season was going on right now. She maintained strong production with, again, 11 points a game, 7 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field. Her statistic, they're okay. They're good. But we're talking about her impact on the game. That's what we're going to really talk about, because her impact on the game is built on her efficiency. because she doesn't need a whole bunch of touches to be successful. But again, she's a 6'5" forward that can handle the ball, that can bring the ball up, and she has a good mid-range game. Over the turnaround jump shot is money. And who's going to block it? She got value. She got some value. Now, let's talk about her play style. She projects as a key or a defensive combo forward. Or matter of fact, not or, let's say and a small ball center as well. So she can do a number of different things and be used in a number of different packages. Her strength shows up especially with her interior scoring efficiency, her rebounding activity, weak side shot blocking, at being a switchable defensive big. And she can bring the ball up the court. She can play well in a modern pace and space type of system that prioritizes versatility. Let's talk about her strengths. Defensive versatility. Key's length and mobility allow her to defend multiple front court positions. She can contest shots at the rim, rotate to help defenders, hedge on ball screens, guard athletic forwards. She can bring a lot of flexibility on the defensive end. And that's a high valuable type of player in today's WNBA. Let's talk about rebounding. She consistently produces about 7 to 8 rebounds a game as a starter. Her motor, it helps generate extra possessions, second chance opportunities, and defensive stops. Let's talk about her shooting, because remember, she's an efficient player, especially on this offensive end. She shoots around 50% from the field, and that's against major competition. Her offense primarily comes off from cuts, transition scoring, offensive rebounds, and finishing inside. She plays well without needing the ball, and that's a player that the Washington Mystics can use. So pretty much think of Emily Inksler. But I think Emily Inksler is a better perimeter shooter than Key at this point. Key's outside shot, it looks good, but it definitely needs some development. It needs some reps. But she can be a very good player that we can have into our developmental system, because teams now have 2 developmental slots. Teonni Key can definitely can be in that mold. So take this second real quick. Like the video. Take an opportunity right now. Subscribe to the channel. It helps us get this Washington Mystic content out to the masses. We appreciate all y'all for tapping in. Now, let's do this. Let's talk about some of the weaknesses of her game. Even though she can bring the ball up the court and she's mobile for big, when it comes to shot creation, that's where you have some limitations. That's going to be where some development needs to occur. All right. So with Key, she's more of a finisher, a play finisher, than a primary scorer. So pretty much she gets in where she fits in. She can do her thing. She doesn't consistently create her own shot off of the dribble. But with her being so mobile, with her handle, those are parts of her game that can definitely be developed. Now, her perimeter game, she's not a volume three-point shooter whatsoever. Her percentage is not good. But with time, that can definitely be improved. Okay? She's constantly working on her face-up scoring and shooting with range. And if she can make those type of improvements, we're talking about some long-term upside here. So let's talk about her development timeline. Let's talk about the plan here. She may need time to fully adjust to the WNBA physicality and speed, but again, she's a mobile big, and she got a knack for rebounding. So I don't think that curve is going to be overly long. Most players with her archetype develop into rotational contributors rather than immediate starters. Now, let's talk about who she compares to in the WNBA. Her style, it aligns with versatile defensive forwards who impact winning through effort and positional flexibility. Comparable archetypes: Leticia Amir, Kayla Thornton, Jessica Shepard, Isabel Harrison, and Naz Hillman. These players have carved out careers through defense, rebounding, and role efficiency. That's the pathway for Teonni Key to stick in the WNBA. Now, how does she fit with the Washington Mystics? The Washington Mystics, we're in a rebuild. And it's around our young core of Kiki Iriafen, Sonia Citron, and if Shakira Austin comes back. Now, what Key adds to the Mystics would be front court depth, defensive versatility, rebounding support, and lineup flexibility. Because remember, she's a mobile big that can play forward, power forward. She can guard some wings, maybe. But she also can be a small 5 as well. Remember that. So she fits especially with our lineups that emphasize defensive switching and transition play. Okay, so let's talk about where Teonni Key could fall in the draft. First round, I don't know. Second round, strong possibility. That's the sweet spot we're looking at. Third round, it's getting a little shaky. But we're looking at a range between pick 27 and pick 34 overall. And again, the Washington Mystics, we have a lot of picks. We got 3 first-round picks, 2 second rounds, and a third round. So we can get some value at 19 in the second round. But I really think if we can get a player like Key at 30 or 34, we're doing good. Now, her projection for year one, we're talking about an energy forward competing for rotation minutes. Or we also are looking at a player that could be on the developmental track where she can be one of our developmental players, right? But if she gets time, again, she could be an energy forward competing for minutes, defense specialist, and a rebounding depth piece. Year 2 to 3, someone that has shown that they have upside, a rotational power forward, small ball center, and a defensive matchup weapon. So, the takeaways. Teonni Key fits the profile of a player who may not generate headlines on draft night, but could quietly develop into a valuable rotational piece. Her combination of size, mobility, and defensive versatility makes her an intriguing option for a lot of teams prioritizing lineup flexibility. And that's something that here in Washington, we can use because she can fit the timeline and the roster structure as a potential developmental front court contributor. Remember that. So, remember this. We dropping this type of content all the time. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you don't miss any future Mystics draft coverage because we're dropping stuff daily. And it's a whole lot more stuff we're going to be talking about with the Washington Mystics as well because the season is fast tracking. It's almost time. We got an expansion draft to talk about. We have the draft to talk about. We also have free agency to talk about. It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot. So get ready because more is to come. And, that's going to conclude this breakdown. This is your host, Delano, your trusted voice for Washington Mystic content. We appreciate all y'all for tapping in. And real quick, we made an announcement yesterday, but we going to drop this every day. We have our second annual WNBA Draft watch party that's going to be in full effect on draft night. So if you are in the DMV, if you're going to be in the city, if you're going to be in Washington, D.C., pull up. Watch the WNBA Draft with your homie, Delano, and the rest of the Washington Mystic fan base that's going to be there. Because if you was at last year's, we had a great turnout. On top of it, we had some surprise guests that popped in that we didn't even know was coming. So you never know who's pulling up. We are opening, we're starting everything off around 6:30 p.m. Early arrival is strongly suggested. It's going to be at Tom's Watch Bar. That's going to be at 1250 Half Street, Southeast Washington, D.C. That's right next to the Nationals baseball stadium in the Navy Yard. So, come pull up and let's see who we get because we got a bunch of picks. And, hey, if you're not a Washington Mystic fan, that's okay. Still pull up and be a part of the festivities because if you are a WNBA fan, we can all hang out and have a good time. So we appreciate everybody for tapping in. Again, this is your host, Delano, your trusted voice for Washington Mystic content. We'll be right back at y'all real soon. And that's it. We out of here. Gone.